So let's assume that we want to calculate, or we want to find without a calculator, the lowest common multiple and the highest common factor of numbers that they are slightly larger ones to handle, like the ones in the previous video, like 3 and 4, for example, or 20 and 15. And in this case, I've chosen the numbers 72 and 24 for no apparent reason. It can work the same way, like I'm going to go through for any two numbers that you want. So for those two numbers, what you're actually going to need, you're going to need to recall the prime factors. And the prime factors of a number, they are the factors that they are at the same time prime numbers. Prime numbers. So let's just go a little bit here to the right, just to kind of like, remind you a little bit of that skill. So let's say you have 12 and you want to find the factors. First pair 1 times 12, second pair 2 times 6, and the third pair is going to be 3, and I'm going to squeeze the 4 here. And then these are all the factors of 12. But out of all of those factors, the prime factors are only 2 and 3. So what that means I can break down number 12 as a product of its prime factors. And how do we do that? Well, we know that 2 is a factor of 12, so that's going to become 2 times 6. And then we can put this one in a circle to show that we're not going to further analyze this one because it's already a prime number. Remember, number 1 is not a prime number. The first prime number and the only even prime number is number 2. And then we do the same with 6, so that's going to become 2 times 3, and that's a prime number, and that's a prime number. So product of prime factors, let me just squeeze this here. So product of prime factors is the process of writing 12 as a product of the 3 prime factors irrelevant to the repetitions that you're seeing there. So like 2 times 2 and then times by 3, or if you want to use exponent form, then that's going to become 2 to the power of 2 times by 3. And that's the product of the prime factors of number 12, right? It has 6 factors altogether, but only 2 of them are prime. And then the way you can write 12 as a product of its prime factors is 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so this is the process we want to apply here for number 72 and 24. So let's start with 24. That's going to be 2 times 12. That's a prime factor. That's a 2 times 6. That's a prime factor, and that's a 2 prime, 3 prime. So that's going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And the same for 72. That's going to be 2 times 36. That's a prime. That's a 2 times 18. That's a prime. That's a 2 times 9. That's a prime. And that's a 3 times 3. And they're both prime. So we ended up with 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Right. The way we carry on from here is by constructing a Venn diagram. An event diagram, I'm sure you've seen it before, right? Is the one that you have the circles. And actually, I'm going to need a bigger one. Let's just make a bigger circle. And everything they have in common goes in the middle. So 2 is common on both numbers, so that goes in the middle. And I'm talking about the first 2. We do the same for the second 2. And then we do the same for the third 2. And then we do the same for the 3. And of course, the 24 is going to be on this side, and the 72 is going to be this side. What is left now is the 3, which I'm going to fit into the side of the prime factors that they are leftovers for only 72. So once you construct the Venn diagram, then whatever you have here in the middle is going to be the highest common factor. So highest common factor of numbers 24 and 72 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. That's going to give you 8 times by 3. That's going to give you 24, right? So the highest common factor of 24 and 72 is 24. Or otherwise, that means that 24 goes a specific number into 72, right? And that number is 3. 24 times 3, that's going to give you 72. So therefore, that's the highest common factor, right? And then the lowest common multiple is found by multiplying everything you see lowest common multiple of 24 and 72 is going to be everything you see across the Venn diagram. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times the other 3, and then that's going to become, of course, 72. Now, it so happened that the lowest common multiple of 72 and 24 is the one of the two numbers, right? Which is like the 72, and the highest common factor is 24, but that's not always the case. So should you always pick up two numbers and just go through the same process and try to kind of like, check your work perhaps with a calculator or any other method?